Good morning. Today, we have a very important topic to discuss, and these are 27 ways to handle people with problems. How do we deal with people who are incompetent, dishonest, people who are grossly and habitually negligent of their job, disobedient, disloyal to the family, to the company, and committing fraud or breach of trust. And therefore, the whole day today from 9 to 12 and then from 1 to 4, we will handle all the situations and plus advices. This is attended by more than 500 HR professionals all over the Philippines. People for the wrong job. No, you have to examine yourself whether your problem is in the reward, because you cannot blame the people all the time. Every human behavior has a cause, and you are also part of the cause. No, organizational justice. What are you doing? Lahat na lang yung discipline. Ang mga tanong ng mga participant, puro na lang gusto kong tanggalin, gusto kong suspensuin. Walang nagtatanong tong how to mentor, how to coach, how to counsel. Yung bang gagamutin mo, yung bang may sakit ng COVID, babarilin mo na lang, pareho sa Korea. Pag magkasakit ka, babarilin ka para hindi ka manghawa. Hindi. Dapat gamutin mo, arugain mo, gumagastos ang gobyerno ng Pilipinas para i-save ang buhay. Ganon din sa HR. We have to save careers, we have to save people because they are also suffering. Yung tinatawag nating people with problems, do you think they want to be people with problems? They are also victims. So we have to help. No? Dapat ang ating attitude is helping, hindi yung condemning tayo. We are very condemning and we are also sinners. No? Sinsya na kayo sa akin kung I sound like I am trying to pontificate because kuha ko lang yun, style ko lang yun, yung bang just to emphasize. No? Baka sabihin nyo, ito kasi ang next natin is how cluster natin ang people with problems. Ito, I have 4 clusters. This is JBJ's matrix. I invented this. Window number 1, knowledge and skills is low, attitude and habit is high. When you hire a person on the first 6 months of his career in the company, he is very obedient, hardworking, polite, courteous, subservient, no? But his knowledge and skills is low. Kasi bago lang yun. Madali lang gamutin ito. Itong number 1 kasi low, high, knowledge and skills is low, attitude and habit is high. Ang gamot lang dito, mentoring. You give him a good supervisor, a good mentor, a good coach. Matuto yan at magiging high yan. Itong high knowledge and skills, high attitude and habit, ito yung pinaka-desire natin. Pero pag ang tao na ito ay hindi mo ma-recognize, hindi mo mabigyan ng karampatang reward, he will become disgruntled. There are only 2 ways. He will go away and look for other companies. He will be pirated by other companies, or he will become number 3, disgruntled expert. Expert na siya, mataas ang knowledge and skills niya. pero mababa yung attitude and habit niya. So, ito problematic ito. Yung number 1 and number 3 is problematic. But, mas mabigat na problema yung number 3. Kasi ang kailangan dito, i-rehab mo siya, counseling, ibalik mo siya, i-motivate mo uli kasi na-wounded yung spirit niya. And then, if you let him alone, if you do not take care of this person, he will deteriorate into number 4, low. Ito yung wala na siyang knowledge and skills, pinabayaan na niya ang sarili niya, at ang attitude niya ay sumama dahil nga siya galit. Ito ang number 4, ang tinatawag nating pre-departure area. Ito yung tinatawag nating duty-free. Bakit duty-free? Kasi wala na siyang duty. Wala na siyang duty. Hindi na siya nag-duty. Nagbabasa na lang siya, nagti-TikTok na lang siya, or nagpi-Facebook siya while in office. So, hindi ba unfair sa iyo yan? No? Unfair din sa iyo yan. No? So, for every window, there is a remedy. You have to remedy him. Kasi hindi pwedeng pabayaan mo siya na ganun ang kanyang personality. That is the challenge of management. This is the challenge of management, and you have to do something. For every one of this problem, you must have a solution. No? For number 1, give him a mentor. Give him leadership. For number 2, appreciate and recognize him. For number 3, you should assure organizational justice. Kasi disgruntled siya. Magaling na siya sa knowledge and skills. Masama ang kanyang ugali. Kasi that is his way of getting back. Kasi he did not get the recognition. Others were given recognition. He was left behind. Do you have people like this in number 3? Pag number 4, ito na yung mga tao talagang mahirap ng gamutin kasi lumalim na yung galit niya. At maaari na lang kung talagang gusto na niyang mag-retire, pagbigyan mo na lang siya. Pero kung matiyaga ka, pwede mong ibalik siya sa number 1. Pwede, ito ang cycle ng buhay natin sa kumpanya. From 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pag number 4 ka at may magaling na leader, may magaling na mentor, may magaling na coach or counselor, he will become number 1 again. Ito yung tinatawag na born again. You will be born again because na-burn ka na eh. Ngayon, born na naman. Oh, yun ang katotohanan dyan eh. So, we will go to number 4. Ito ngayon yung tinatawag kong ABC profile. Ito, gawa-gawa din ni JBJ ito eh. Marami akong ginawa. At yan, nasa libro ko lahat yan. Sayang ang mga batang HR na hindi sila mabibigyan ng legacy ko ng 45 years. At ito, nilagay ko. Lahat ng tao ninyo ngayon, you try this, doing, even in your mind lang. If you have 100 people, at least mga 10 to 20 of them are A. At mga 10 or 20 yung mga C. Ang karamihan yan, B. Ano ba yung A? Ito yung mga angels. At yung C, ito yung mga pinadala ng masamang espiritu para gambalain ang buhay mo. Yung mga B, ito yung bali-baliktad. Pwede siyang pumunta sa A, pwedeng pumunta sa B, no? Ano yung mga A? Ito yung mga angels ninyo. The A people, you have to take care of them because they are hardworking, they are focused on their job, they are self-motivated, they are polite, courteous, respectful, loyal, and friendly to people. He has good relationship. And very productive and driven siya, and always trying hard to produce more. He is also focused on quality at hindi pwede sa kanya ang pwede na. Talagang seryoso siya. He wants really to produce the best. And time conscious siya, cost effective, and very prudent in the use of resources. Ito yung mga hinahanap nating tao. When you recruit people and you can find this, you are very lucky. Kung kayo mga dalaga, maghanap kayo ng mga husband na hard-working. Bakit? Maraming working, hindi naman hard. Merong hard, hindi naman working. Dapat yan hard-working ang husband nyo. Kasi ang opposite dyan sa hard-working ay shortcomings. Ang opposite ng hard-working ay shortcomings. Narinig mo yan, Mr. Chairman? Wala na yata si Mr. Chairman. Anjo, narinig mo yan? Alam ko, Anjo, nagle-lecture ka rin. Gamitin mo yan, Anjo, ha? Sabi ni JBJ, kailangan sa mga husband ay hard-working. Kasi kailangan talagang hard at saka working. Walang kwenta yung mga hard na hindi nag-working at saka walang kwenta yung working na hindi hard. Kailangan dyan hard-working. Okay ba, Anjo? Ayan. Yung mga C people, yun ang mga lazy, yun ang mga padungker-dungker, yan ang mga pagay-anggayaan, laging nagtatago sa CR, laging nagtitext, laging nagtitiktok, pag walang supervisor, hindi nagtatrabaho, tapos pag tawagin mo, very impolite, hindi marunong gumalang, at palaaway, intrigero, nagpapakalat ng mga masasamang mga balita, no? At saka yung kanyang mga output ay kailangan mong ulitin kasi maraming mali-mali, kulang sa measurement, kulang sa tamang kulay, maraming mga deviation from quality standards. And ang kanyang volume ay laging below standards. Tatanungin na naman ako ng mga participant. Attorney, pwede ba naming tanggalin yan? Huwag muna tayo magtanong ng mga ganong mga legalidad ngayon kasi nandito tayo sa behavioral. Paano natin ngayon gamutin yung mga taong ganon? No? Gagawa tayo ng ibang seminar kung saan doon nyo itanong, gross and habitual negligence ba yan, attorney? Under Article 297? Yun nga ang advantage ko kasi pwede ako sa behavioral, pwede ako sa legal. Yung libro ko, The 8 Secrets for Success in Leading People, yung volume 1 yan, legal. At yung volume 2, behavioral. At saka may spiritual pa. Merong spiritual because the word discipline comes from the word discipulus. So you make your people your follower, your learner. So a good manager is a teacher. A good manager is one that gives empowerment through skills, attitude, and counseling on values. Ganon yun. No? Ano yung mga B? Yung mga B, ito yung mga A na masquerading, C na masquerading as A. Alam mo ngayon, uso na kasing maskara ngayon . Maraming tao ngayon nagmamaskara. Yung ba, pagkausap mo, pagkaharap mo, ang galing niyang magpaliwanag. Pero pag wala ka naman, naninira sa kumpanya or yung bang marami siyang issue na hindi niya malabas sa frontally, kundi patalikod. So ito yung mga balimbing ng mga tao na mahirap pagtiwalaan. Pero pag magaling ka talaga, yung mga B, gawin mong A. So gawin mong target yan. Sa buwan ng September, mag-target ako ng mga 10 na B. Gagawin kong A yan. I will have a program how to do them. gagawin mong programa yan, gagawin mong target yan. Ganoon talaga yan because you are a good shepherd. Ang mga tupa mo hindi perfecto. So, kailangan programahan mo yan. Nothing will come from nothing. You have to do something. Magsimula ka, umpisahan mo, kailangan gawin mo. No? Just do it. No? Number 5. Number 5 na tayo ha. 27 ito. Alam mo, ito, across generation. I remember one time si Freddy Marquez nagbigay ng lecture on yung mga iba-ibang generation, yung mga veterans, yung tinatawag na traditionalist, born 1900 to 1945. Wala na naman siguro ang traditionalist, Mr. Willie Espirito. Nasa baby boomer na tayo lahat, di ba? Mr. Espirito, ikaw, you belong to 1946 to 1964. We are the baby boomers, di ba? Si Mr. Fred Torres, si Mr. Torres, nandito siya sa baby boomer pa rin. Sinong mga Gen X dito? Baka si Beb Tiangco nasa millennial na yan, 1977, 1997. Iwan ko lang si Sherry Alcaraz kung Gen X yan o millennial. Hindi ko lang masasabi. No? So, alam naman natin na iba-ibang ugali dito. So, no? Kailangan, pag magaling kang leader, alamin mo yung generation ng mga tao mo. Kasi ito, yung tatay ko was a traditionalist. So, ang kanyang talagang value is stability. Stability. Kailangan nagigimbal siya pag merong mga unstable, yung mga unannounced. Gusto niyang ganun. Tayo sa generation natin, Mr. Freddy Marquez, Mr. Espirito, si Bebe Chavez, I don't know, Generation X ba yan o Baby Boomer? Sa mga Baby Boomer kasi, passion for excellence eh. No? Yung bang, ito yung generation na mahilig mag-master's degree, itong generation ni Miriam Defensor Santiago na nag-aral sa Harvard, sa Cambridge, sa Yale, nag-masters, sumulat ng libro. Ito yung mga taong ganun, yung bang talagang may drive sila for self-improvement. No? Isa-isahin natin yan. Ito. Wala na tayong traditionalist. May baby boomer tayo, may Generation X, may Generation Y, may millennial, at meron pang sunod sa millennial. So, si Presidente Duterte pala is traditionalist eh. Ka-generation ni Ramon Magsaysay at ni Elvis Presley. In fact, President Duterte was the oldest man to assume the presidency. Do you know who was the youngest man to become President of the Philippines? Si General Emilio Aguinaldo was in his late 20s when he proclaimed independence. And then ang sunod, si Ramon Magsaysay is very young, mga 30s pa, 40s, early 40s. Si Donald Trump is a baby boomer. O yan, kaedad mo yan, Willie, si Donald Trump, kasama si Ay de las Alas. No? Generation X, ikaw, Beb Tiangco, pati si Lynn Espinosa, kaedad ninyo si Mariah Carey, at saka si Cheska Garcia. Itong anak ko, yan ang nag-research, nilagay itong pinagsama-sama, pati si Maine Mendoza, Generation Y ba yan? At ito si Beyonce. Ito mga millennial. Tingnan mo naman ang mga style ng mga millennial eh. Mga millennial talaga May mga ugali yan, no? So, do you know how to lead people according to the generational divide, no? Para sa mga traditionalist, wag na natin yang banggitin yung traditionalist kasi wala nang naiiwan, patay na siguro ng mga traditionalist eh. So dito na lang tayo sa baby boomers. Ang mga baby boomers tulad ko ay ang kanilang gusto talaga organizational justice. Tingnan mo ha, organizational justice. Bakit? Rights. They are very focused on rights, equal opportunity. They want to be involved and they want to question everything. And itong mga baby boomer, kasi kami, mga aktivista kami yung mga anti-government, anti-authority. Pero ngayon, medyo nagbabago na siguro ugali ng mga baby boomer, no? Spend now, worry later. Hindi ganyan si Mr. Marquez eh. Hindi siya nag-spend now. Parang worry now, spend later lang siya eh. No? Okay, Generation X. Nandito si yung mga kasama natin. Sila ni Malu Alejandre. Sila ni sila ni Marcelo, Mr. Marcelo. Richard. Richard, Generation X ka ba, Richard? Hindi ko maniwala. Baby boomer ka. Balance. Ha? So, 51 years old ka lang? Okay. Ito yung ugali ng mga Generation X. Balance. Organizational justice din yan. Diversity, independence, skeptics, hindi kaagad maniniwala, at saka pragmatic, fun-loving. Ayan, si Richard, fun-loving yan. No? At saka itong mga Generation Y and Millennial, ito ang atin ngayong tutukan kasi nakalagay dito sa research ko that the most difficult people to discipline are the Millennials because they do not want to be put inside the box. They are highly competitive. They are extremely fun people. They are techno-savvy. They are street smart. But they don't want to, they are questioning authority. No. So these are the attributes of baby boomers. Ability to handle crisis. They are ambitious. They are competitive also. They have ethical principles. They have good communication skills. They are mostly educated and very politically correct in their statement. The Generation X people sometimes are angry but do not know why they are angry. Meron bang ganon? Galit ka pero hindi mo alam ba't ako galit, no? High degree of brand loyalty. But they are adaptable. No? Sometimes they are not impressed with authority. Meron silang gap with the baby boomers. Yung mga Generation X may gap with baby boomers. So this is, now, if you are a superior who is a baby boomer and you are supervising a Generation X, this is how the behaviorist will try to use these inputs. Millennials, look at millennials, they are very ambitious but not focused. They look for direction to achieve goals, but they do not like to be micromanaged. They do not like to be micromanaged. They are individualistic, but they want to work in a team. Tingnan mo they are attached to gadgets. They are eager to spend money. They are independent people. No? They are also savvy politically. No? So, baby boomers, percentage of workplace, 45%. Workaholic, baby boomers, 60%. Originally skeptical of authority, and it is the baby boomers who invented 40 hours per week. Sa atin sa Pilipinas, 48 hours lang tayo sa labor code natin. Pero ang mga baby boomers, ito talaga ang pinaka-hard-working generation. Ang baby boomers kasi dumaan ng isinilang sa just after the war. And they are the children of the soldiers and the veterans. And therefore, they have been molded in the character of being focused on work. No? Ang mga Generation X, no, project-oriented. They want to be paid based on result. They are skeptical of authority. They want a balanced work-life. No? Balanced work-life. They want structure and direction. And they are self-reliant. Percentage of workplace, 40%. 40%. Baby boomers. Generation Y and millennials. Ito ang mahirap. But they are very high potentials for great performance if they are managed well. Because they will always test authority. They will try to resist authority and they will test your will. At they do not want to work overtime. Because they want to enjoy life. They want very adequate time for enjoyment. So I will skip some of the slides because I will focus on them again in the subsequent slides. By the way, at 11 o'clock, Mr. Chairman, with your permission, I will try to open the table for questions so that there will be a chance for them to raise questions before we go to the afternoon session. Is it okay with you?
Yes. Let's do that.
Because there are many people now who are very eager now to ask questions. How do you work with people across generations? So, with baby boomers, they want to hear that their ideas matter. Yan na, importante yan. Pag ikaw ang tao tulad ni Mr. Marquez, tulad ni Willie Espirito, kailangan pakinggan mo yung kanilang mga idea. And they were valued in their young years, and they want to retain that value. Their careers define them. No? Careers for baby boomers are very important because their work is the definition of their life. At saka yung mga routine na mga silly will frustrate them. They expect their work and themselves to matter. So when there is an organization that ignore their work or ignore them, they will leave that organization. You have to give importance to baby boomers. And they are very good team players. They are motivated by their responsibilities. If you give them responsibilities, that responsibility is motivating factor. But do not criticize them publicly because they will not take criticisms well. You have to handle their feelings very carefully because they are sensitive to self-esteem. They want recognition, but these people hardly doubt offer recognition to others. They need flexibility, attention, and freedom. Yan ang mga baby boomers. How about the Generation X? They want independence and informality in the workplace. Give them time to pursue other interests. Allow them to have fun at work. Iba din itong Generation X eh. Give them the latest technology. Ang mga Y and millennials, they are team-oriented people, so give them a workplace where they can work in teams. Want to work with bright and creative people. Itong mga millennials, galit sila sa mga bubo. Galit sila sa mga mahina ang pick-up. Kasi ito yung mga restless people, they are on the go, they are full of enthusiasm, they are full of energy, at galit sila sa mga patulog-tulog, yung pakaang-kaang na mga kasama nila. They expect to be treated respectfully. So, kahit ba sila mga millennial, you should give them proper respect. They see as a meant to do things just because it is the way. It has to be explained to them. When you come up with a policy for the millennials to follow, you cannot tell them, you follow my way or you go to the highway. No, that will not work for the millennial. You have to inform them of the rationale, the philosophy, and the reason why you come up with that policy. And you provide a working environment that rewards excellence and extra effort. You have to give them interactive work environment, personalized work, and also involve them in team activities. Yung ano na mga style dyan. No? The ninth way, how to communicate with people across generation. Yung traditionalist, huwag na nating intindihin yan. Dito na lang tayo sa baby boomers. You must be diplomatic with baby boomer. You have to speak openly but confidentially. You should be sensitive to body language. Give him options. Do not put him in a box. Face to face ang gusto. Ang gusto ng baby boomer ay face to face. Hindi niya pwedeng yung gusto mong iparatang sa kanya, i-memo mo lang by email. Kailangan na magkausap. Kahit may pandemic, kahit may lockdown, gusto talaga niyang mag-zoom kayo para makita niya yung mukha mo. So establish a friendly rapport with a baby boomer. You know why I am presenting this to you? Kasi if you do not handle people properly, they will become people with problem. So ang ultimate conclusion ng sinasabi ko sa inyo, at the end of the day, if you have people with problem and they have been with you for a long time, it is your fault because you have not studied him properly. So ngayon, we are now in this time when we look at the generation. Sa Generation X, you can be blunt with him, direct, immediate, straight talk. No? At saka ito yung mga tawad, call me only at work, don't call me at my rest time. Mahirap din ito palang mga Generation X, itong mga 36 to 51 years. Pagka nag-text ka sa kanya, hindi ka sasagutin kasi off siya or on leave siya ganyan ka ba, Willie? Di ba, Willie, Generation X ka? Ano ka ba, Willie? Generation Y ka? Ha? Akala ko 29 ka pa. No?
Next sir, sumasagot ako sir agad.
Iba ka ito, email ang importante sa kanya at saka kung magsalita ka sa mga Gen X, huwag mong habaan. Kailangan maiksi lang. Keep it short, sweetheart. Kiss, kiss. K-I-S-S. Keep it short. Keep it short, sweetheart. No? Use direct and straightforward approach. No? Avoid high-sounding terminology. Huwag kang gumamit ng mga linggo-linggo. Always tie your message to result. No? You have to tell him what is the result that you want me to achieve. Before the end of your conversation, it should be clear na sa haba-haba ng pinag-usapan natin, ano ba talaga ang gusto mong resulta. It should be clear to Generation X. Sa Generation Y at sa mga millennials, you have to be respectful and polite. Do not be harsh with them. And you have to be motivational. No? You can use the internet, picture phones, email, no? Digital platform, communicate in person if the message is very important. Use the email and voicemail as number one tool. Don't talk them down. They will resent it. Don't assume the parent-child transactional analysis na you level with them. Yan yung gusto nila. You level with them, adult to adult, not parent to child. Not child to parent, not parent to parent, but it is adult to adult. Yan, dapat pag-aralan natin yung transactional analysis na parent, child, adult. No? Be positive in your message. Tie the message to the goal. Prefer to learn in networks. Kailangan mag-aral tayo ng digital platform sa mga taong ganito. No? Number 10. Malapit na ako mag-break ha. Sa 10 na lang ako para mamaya 17. Mahaba yun. Gawin ko na lang 12 kasi baka makapos tayo ng panahon. No? What are the strengths of each generation? The baby boomer. Listen to this. They are rank highs when it comes to being productive. The most productive people, 69%, are the baby boomers. Hard-working, 73%. Team player, 56%. Mentoring others, 55%. Anong weakness nila? Adaptability and collaborativeness. 10% lang naman. What benefits motivate them? Healthcare. So, siyempre, sa mga edad namin ito, bigyan mo kami ng HMO na yung pinaka-highest na meet, yung MaxiCare or whatever, IntelliCare. Bigyan mo kami ng, para ma-entice mo kami, para mag-accept ng posisyon. Yan ang i-offer ninyo sa mga baby boomer. Tsaka yung mga retirement packages. Ayan, ito, baby boomers, ang strength ng baby boomers are most effective managers. 70% of the baby boomers are effective managers. They are revenue generators, 58%. Ito mo, anong strength? A baby boomer, dealing with baby boomer, Gen Y and millennials. Ang strength nila, technical, social media, enthusiasm, 6%, team player, hardworking and productive. Meron na yung strength. No? So, dapat alam natin ang strength ng tao para how to discipline. Ito na ngayon, how to discipline Generation X. Clarify the goals. Ito yung sinasabi ko. Clarity of objective. Yeah, that is one very important aspect in management. Performance evaluation is very important as component of discipline, because you discipline people for deviation, but you do not reward them properly. So they do not respond positively. Hindi ka balanse eh. Pag merong mali, stricto ka. Pero sa pag-reward, hindi ka fair. Hindi commensurate sa contribution nila. So hindi ka balanse. Wala kang organizational justice. Generation Y, you have to show them respect. Give them attention. Don't be a wet blanket. Huwag mong patayin yung kanyang enthusiasm. Talk to them face to face. Adopt a conversational style. Yung mag-level up kayo. Huwag kayong gumamit ng square table na you have your side and this is my side. You use a round table. A round table when we are on the same side, you and I helping together solve a problem. It is not you against me. It is we together. Let us manage this problem together. Let us hold hands together to face the challenge. Yun ang approach dyan. No? Because they are a special breed of purpose-driven achievers. So there are 7 ways, no, how to approach them. May 7 ways how to approach them. Number 1, ilagay mo sila sa team and offer them a plan for success. In other words, if you can achieve this as a team, this is the reward that you will get. Yan, magre-respond ang mga millennial dyan. Number 2, avoid my way or the highway. Yung bang, you should follow my way or you go to the highway. Hindi pwede. Give them flexibility as to the means. But you have to be clear about the output. No matter how you achieve the output, as long as you do not violate the law, you do not go out of bounds of our company standard and our ethics, I will see you evaluation time. So give them time to see face to face. Don't motivate with traditional work values. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin sa millennial na sa panahon namin, sa panahon namin, ganito kami. Hindi yan mag-work sa mga millennial. You cannot do that to them. Kasi sasagutin ka, sa panahon ninyo, no? Don't ignore their ideas. Kailangang makita nila na ikaw ay talagang binigyan mo ng halaga yung idea nila. Yung bang isulat mo, i-repeat mo pa, i-mention mo pa that this is the idea, ganito. Yan, ganon, that will work. And don't be easily ruffled because they are very blunt and they can say, sir, you are wrong. No, yan ang mga millennials. But they have to do it respectfully. No? I'm willing to be told that I am wrong, but you should also remember that I am a senior citizen and I have earned my way to be respected. So you can tell me that I'm wrong in a nice way. So ito, last na lang ito before we go to question and answer, no? According to the expert, which generation is the toughest to manage? Toughest to manage. Ang pinakamahirap palang i-manage ay millennials. 53% according to the experts. This is not according to JBJ. This is the experts based on my survey. Ang pinakamadaling i-manage ay ang mga baby boomers. Ang sunod ay Generation X. Pero ang mga millennials, hirap na hirap ang mga managers. Again, ito, how to discipline millennials? clarify the results at the very start. Clarify the results, but don't tell them how to achieve the result. They will resent it. Specify the rewards and the penalties and draw the lines very clearly. And then number 3, do not micromanage a millennial. Allow him room for creativity and flexibility, but with boundaries. Be liberal on rewards, but tough on punishment. He needs open appreciation and confidential reprimand. Remember these 5 things, how to discipline millennials? So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will now give the table to Mr. Marquez for the question and answer portion.
From Fisha May Coral, may I ask what are the programs that we can use to boost the motivation of employees in this new normal?
Well, this afternoon I have a listing of programs, and our chairman, Mr. Marquez, has shown you the 88 modules that we are going to run. You can choose from among according to your needs. The most important thing is the training need analysis. The training need analysis is you have to determine ano ba talaga ang problema. Huwag kang gumawa ng programa na hindi mo pa nalaman yung ano ang temperatura ng mga tao, anong temperatura ng organisasyon, kasi baka hindi yun ang kailangan. So it is very important that you know your people, and there is a test and measurement on how to conduct a training needs analysis, no? Kasi yung tanong how to motivate people during the time of pandemic, that is a real need because there is now some sort of demoralization. Merong mga natatakot na pumasok because of an overriding fear for the infection. So what is the approach? Meron din tayong mga module on that. This is something behavioral with a little mixture of spiritual. Kasi ang problema ng mga tao, hindi kulang ng skills, kulang ng motivation, nauunahan ng takot, no? Kulang sila ng passion sa trabaho. So meron tayong module on that at ipapakita natin this afternoon, no? These are what you need is motivational, something that are inspirational. You know, ang ginawa ng PMAP dito is nagkaroon kami ng poetry reading at saka may music pa at saka mayroong spiritual. No, maraming approach kasi the human being is a complicated organism. So you look at him, what is really bugging him? Why are they not motivated to work during pandemic? So napaka malaking challenge yan, no? And we can help you. We can help you customize a program according to your needs.
Okay, sir. Good morning, Attorney. I have a question. Given the roles of these millennials who are under these conditions of respecting doctors, aging around 60 who are oftentimes having difficulty paying their demands in our rehab center due to very traditional way of their devotion. When we have ideas, they don't recognize accepting it or even heard from it. How do we interact with them? Thank you.
Ang unang-una dyan, ang bibigyan natin ng dapat na konting learning session ay yung mga namumuno. Kasi ang style nila, they are not able to adjust their style according to the people they are managing or supervising. Alam ba ninyo na there is a finding by UP, human psychology, na the Filipino employees are overmanaged and under-led. You listen to that statement and analyze my statement. Over-managed but under-led. There is too much management, meaning too much planning, too much organizing, too much controlling. Yan tatlo na yan. Sobrang control, sobrang planning, sobrang organizing, sobrang structure. Pero ang kulang is leading, which means kulang ng clarifying the objective, kulang ng motivating, kulang ng listening, kulang ng recognizing, kulang ng appreciating. So, kung saan ang kulang, yun ang dapat tugunan. No? Kasi yung mga namumuno dyan na medyo may edad na, baka they are not also aware. Blind din sila eh. They are assuming na yung mga taong nileled nila ay kapareho nila ng pag-iisip. Dapat bigyan mo sila ng orientation on generational divides para ma-realize nila, oo nga yung mga tao natin, lagi tayong may conflict kasi we are assuming na yung paradigm nila, yung mga thinking process nila, yung mga attitude nila ay pareho sa atin. We are not able to adjust to their levels, to the way they are thinking. So, kaya ang Panginoon, Diyos siya, nagpakababa siya, nagpakatao siya, para maintindihan talaga niya ang tao. So, kung halimbawa, ikaw ay manager ka at ikaw ay baby boomer or Generation X at you are managing and leading the millennials and you are doing it according to the way that you are used to, you have forgotten that you are leading people that have different breeding, different kinds of training, different ways of looking at things. So, ang nangangailangan dyan ang training, hindi yung mga taong millennials, kundi yung namumuno. Yun ang masasabi ko. No? At ito pala, meron nag-text sa akin, si Fidel Iblasen, ang bagong discovered na singer ngayon ay Sayasaki Torres ay nanonood sa atin sa Laguna. Alam mo si Fidel yan, isa sa haligi ng HR dyan sa Laguna, na ngayon ay nagbago na ng career from HR to singing. At marami na siyang naging viral na mga video na kumakanta siya ng mga Engelbert Humperdinck, Matt Monroe. Kita mo yung mga HR na nagbabago ng takbo. Pero tuloy-tuloy pa rin siyang HR at expression niya napakaganda. At napakaganda yung boses ni Fidel Iblasen. Kilala mo ba yan, Mr. Chairman?
Oo. Fidel yan. Ano na yan? Malapit na professional singer yan.
Oo nga, at saka kuwan siya eh. Ngayon nakikinig sa atin na nanonood na kasama natin si Mr. Fidel Iblasen. So sana makatulong tayo sa Laguna. Okay. Next question.
Propose incorporated how to complete staff management and proper attention to the rehabilitation of type B or C employee. Most of the times, these things are tend to ignored by multinational companies like us, even though HR is trying its best to explain its importance.
Well, I think Mr. Freddy Marquez being governor of ECO, ito yung mga head of companies, mga president at CEO, COO na dapat mag-convene ang ECO ng high level na ang ma-attend talaga mga presidente. Kasi I observed that during general membership meeting, konti lang ang ma-attend ng mga presidente, kundi papadala yung kanilang mga mga HR, yung mga hindi talaga umaattend ang mga employers. When in fact, it is an Employers Confederation of the Philippines. So, ang problema nitong nagtanong, gusto sana niyang gawa ng mga intervention sa kanilang company. Pero how can he do that without the support of top management? That's why maybe we can help them, Mr. Marquez, through the ECOP, using the ECOP as the platform to convince the top owners to also open themselves to interventions like this, behavioral interventions, na whether they are Japanese, Korean, or whatever, the people down, in order to increase their productivity and to improve their business results. These are very helpful mechanisms. And here is a person who is expressing the willingness to embrace all this intervention, but his dilemma is, I want this kind of program, but how can I convince the owners or the top management about this? Yun, very, very real and very practical yung problema niya.
Okay, from Attorney Marvin Garland, how do we choose our path for our generation? We cannot be an author, speaker, and do all other things our predecessors have already done. How do you suggest we innovate for our own generation?
Okay. First of all, before I answer your question, binabati ko lang si Vivian Lawansa na dating past president ng Cagayan de Oro chapter ng PMAP. Ang tanong is how to can you summarize that question, because may predecessor eh.
Ano po, pipili po ba natin yung path ng ating generation?
Well, kailangan dyan, you have to sit down and look at the profile of your employees, and then create a program that is responsive to the needs. Now, yung predecessor, I have a statement about predecessor. In our country, we need to instill discipline when we change HR. Na yung outgoing HR should turn over properly to the incoming HR, and including a reading of the profile of the employees, and there must be an institutional memory of all the learning session, the interventions that have been done, so that the new HR will not come from zero-based information. The new HR should be properly informed as to what kinds of programs have already been done in the company, and there must be a regular evaluation of the people. I have a lot of tests and measurements. I have even an LRT. What is an LRT? It is the labor relations temperature, as to you measure the feelings of the workers down, and also the levels of competence of supervisors and managers. So the question is how to find our own what kind of response do we need to a particular situation. It requires a very detailed situational analysis. Kami as consultants cannot prescribe a solution unless we see actually what is happening on the ground. Kasi masasayang yung ating mga programa kung hindi natin alam kung ano talaga ang temperatura, ano ang situation sa isang company. Yan ang general answer ko sa question na yan.
From attorney, how to deal with when top management is not amenable to the recommendation of HR for reward management?
Well, without top management, you cannot do anything because it is management that has the authority to approve expenses. That is additional overhead cost when it. So what you can do is just to focus on non-monetary rewards, which have their limit also. Na sabi nga ni Mr. Marquez, as an HR, to get more support from your top management, you must earn the respect of top management. In fact, when you are hired, you have to lay down your cards that when I come here, I will propose some solution, and you must more or less be able to determine if you will get support. You get support from your top management, because when I was hired by San Miguel Corporation, and the owner himself, Mr. Soriano, told me that your mission is to go around the whole company all over the Philippines and to our subsidiaries, including La Tondina, Coca-Cola, Nestle, Magnolia, lahat na yan. You go around and help build the capability, work with the HR of these companies, create programs to empower the first line so that they will know how to deal with the KMU, how to protect our prerogatives, no? Without violating the right. So, sa umpisa pa lang, I clarified na to achieve the mission you are giving me, I need the following logistics. So, since I had the credibility, I did not apply for job. I was offered. I was in a position to say that if you want to achieve results, I need resources to do it. And you observe me, and I'll make report to you regularly, so you can withdraw support if I am not effective. So ganun yun. You have to demonstrate that you create really a meaningful difference by your presence. An HR person can become a strategic partner of top management if he has demonstrated in clear and concrete terms the consequence, the effect of your intervention in a given time. So napakahirap na gumalaw na wala kang support ng management. And that is one reason why HR people resign and transfer to other organizations. That gives them the room and opportunity to demonstrate their competence. Kahit gaano ka pakagaling, kung wala kang suporta ng top management, hindi ka magsasucceed sa iyong mga goal. And you make it clear to them. I have a goal, I have a program, I make a presentation to the board or to the management, but I cannot achieve this without your support, and this is the support I need. Now, if you will say, we cannot give you that support, then do not expect result without any of this support that I need. So, ang HR dyan, magiging processor na lang ng leaves. Wala tayong strategic intervention, para na lang tayo, nag-deteriorate na lang tayo into transactional HR na lang tayo. Hindi tayo strategic partner na HR. Hindi tayo manager of change. Hindi tayo catalyst of development and change. We do not contribute to the bottom line by real results that is generated out of people being empowered to achieve better results. Kailangan magaling ka mag-persuade ng management eh. Kasi pag sabihin mo sa management, kung gusto niyo result pero hindi kayo magbibigay ng support, so I will become, sabi nga ni Presidente, maging inotel ako dito. Even the President needs support of Senate and Congress to combat the COVID because you cannot fight your battle without ammunition.
From Ella Mercado, how to conduct the ABC assessment?
Well, the ABC assessment is based on a long-term process, maximum of 6 months. But this will start with orientation to be given by an expert and who will tell you what are the indicators of being an a B or a C. And then this will involve the participation of first line supervisor because HR cannot do this alone. HR is just in the office. The one who sees on a day-to-day the behavioral pattern of workers are the first line supervisors. They will fill up some forms on a weekly basis and then this will be tabulated. These are behavioral manifestations that will indicate whether you belong to A or you belong to C. There are tests and measurements plus their performance evaluation result. If you are very serious and you do this correctly, the performance evaluation, and your standards are very clear, then you can accurately evaluate the ABC profile of your people. And there are critical incidents that may change your classification.
CY Nathan, will you change the leadership style if the leader is single, with girlfriend, with boyfriend, married, with kids, without regardless of what generation they belong? For example, who can be a better leader? A single Gen X, millennial, or married Gen X, millennial?
You know, leadership, yan ang next topic natin eh. Tingnan mo sa screen. Yan ang next topic, you know. To be a good leader, hindi ka pwedeng, you cannot prescribe a universal formula to be a good leader. It depends also the people you are leading. There must be a good match. A good match. Parang you are asking me how to be a good husband. Even if you are the best husband, if you do not have a good wife, you will not succeed. So there must be a proper match. For instance, a baby boomer is a very good manager, whether he is married or not married. I don't know why you are emphasizing married or not married. No, I have no empirical data to tell me that it will make a difference whether you are married or not married. I am just focusing on generation, that a baby boomer can be a effective mentor to a millennial, but a generation X who may not be very patient may find difficulty in managing a millennial. So, matching ng personality, my answer to you is, to be a good leader, there must be a good match, no? And no matter what generation you are in, you are not condemned forever to stay that way. You can also develop other attributes in behavior. You cannot be put in a box that since you are a millennial, you will be that forever. No. There are many millennials who think like baby boomers. And there are baby boomers who are trying to behave as if they are millennials. No. People can change. And leadership, therefore, the formula for good leadership is flexibility and being able to transition from one style to another, whether you are a Churi X or a Churi Y manager, which I will discuss later on. That is our topic after lunch. Yung ito, nasa screen ninyo. That is the next topic. Cluster your leaders, the ones who will lead the people. That is number 14. Because the title of our webinar is Digital Platform is 27 ways. We are in the 14th way, is about leader, no? So please wait for this afternoon, but that is my temporary answer to your question.
Another from EFC, Lord JBJ, when can the supervisor warn the probationary staff that she or he is not performing? Is it needed to extend the probationary period of the staff during this pandemic?
Tingnan mo yung mga tanong na yan, ha. So anyway, I will just answer your question, no. First of all, if the position is very important, you have to evaluate the performance of that person 3 times. The end of first month, the end of third month, and the end of 5th month. So, if after 5th month, 2 out of 3, he must pass 3 evaluations. If you have copies of my book, HR Form 101, nandoon yung template, what are the criteria, what are the factors to be considered in evaluating a probationary employee. Kailangan papasa siya at least 2 out of 3 evaluation based on very clear, measurable criteria. Now, as to the question of extending probationary period, that can be done only with the consent of the employee. The employee should be the one to request for extension, because if you just extend, that will be already tantamount to transforming the status of a probationary employee into a permanent status, no? So do not extend without the request or approval of the employee concerned. Otherwise, you stand the risk of being led to conclude in the eyes of the law. There is already a conclusion that the employment has been elevated into a permanent status. There is a decision by the Supreme Court in the case of Mariwasa versus Buiser. Mariwasa versus Buiser, when extension is allowed if requested by the employee. Ang importante dyan, if I may add, Willie, the most important is when you hire a person on probationary, you must attach in the appointment or job offer the set of standards that are measurable, specific, and time-bound, because you cannot evaluate without a standard. So, there are so many cases that are lost before the NLRC because the employer failed to attach, because the law says on the first day of the engagement, the employee hired on probation must be duly informed of the standards for evaluation of his performance. Yan ang very important dyan. Okay, next question, Willie.
Yes, sir. Yes, po. Last question po. What can you say about ignoring the role of HR in an organization?
Well, if an HR role is ignored, that means that HR is not being respected by the other departments. So you have to go to the higher authority, because if that will continue, there will be a deterioration of discipline. That means that HR has not gained the level of credibility that is expected, meaning the owners and the top management does not take HR seriously. You know, when Freddy Marquez was senior VP of of St. Luke's, HR was considered as very important in decision making. That's why Freddy Marquez was always consulted by the owners on decisions, not just on people but even on operation, because it has strategic impact. So napakahirap kung HR ka sa isang kumpanya na ini-ignore yung rules ng HR. Napakahirap magtrabaho dyan. Parang walang value ang HR. So how can you be motivated to work if your policies are ignored? So I will give you the 7 steps. The 7 steps in formulating policy. Later on this afternoon, be sure that you will come because bago ka magpalabas ng policy, there are 7 steps, and that includes the support of top management. Di ka pwedeng maglabas ng rule as an HR na wala kang approval from the President. Because if you are not followed, no, ikaw lang not followed. But if your policy has the approval of the President, that means they are violating the policy that was approved by the President, and that is serious. Employee and labor relations, organizational justice, because there are many relations that are not with justice. There are one-sided relationships. That's why employees are not motivated to work. And management also are always frustrated, angry, and disillusioned with the behavior of certain people in the organization. So, how do we bring back the joy of working by promoting justice? Even I studied marriage encounter in Ateneo. Ateneo is even teaching justice in the family. So there must be justice in every area where we operate. Because if there is no justice, anong mangyari? Justice. Kung walang justice, justice. So hanggang kailan magtitiis ang tao? No? Kailangan, pag sinabing justice, management must respect the basic rights of the employees. That is the number one principle of the movement for organizational justice. We must learn to respect the dignity of every human person. They are not just factors of production. They are human capital with human dignity and basic human rights. But also to balance, the employees must also respect the authority, the prerogatives of management, that they must be productive, they must produce high quality of products and services. So, justice is really based on balance. That's why the symbol of justice is a weighing scale where there is a balance between the parties involved in a relationship. No? So this morning we have taken up 13 ways. Now we go to number 14, which is about our leaders. When we say leaders, we refer to the managers and the supervisors. You can see on your screen, Mr. Chairman, can you see this on your screen? Okay, the green one is a supervisor or a manager who is very good in handling people. People is high, but task or technology is very low. So there are managers or supervisors that are very popular with the people, but they do not produce enough output because the manager is not able to leverage on technology and the task the task or the technical aspect of the job. Magaling siya sa mga tao pero mahina siya sa technical. So this is a luhay. So if you train this person on the technical skill, he will become a high. And the blue one is the more desired situation where the manager becomes very high in task and very high on people, and this is the kind of manager that we want to hire. This is the supervisor and the manager. And if you're an HR, you have to have an evaluation of your supervisors. What are their strengths? Are they strong in technical but they need help on people? Like the communication skills, the problem-solving skills, the building of teams skills, the motivation skills. So ito yung mga kailangan na idagdag natin. Now, yung yellow one naman ay opposite sa green. Yung magaling siya sa technology pero napakasama niya sa tao. The people are feeling terrorized. Lagi siyang naninigaw, lagi siyang namubulyaw, at very impatient siya. He has no tolerance for mediocrity, that he cannot teach. No? Para bang isang ama na galit sa anak na tinuturuan sa assignment dahil ang anak ay hindi nakikinig or mahinang pumick up sa mga principles on geometry or trigonometry. So, pag wala kang pasensya, itong yellow, ito yung mga managers na napakagaling nila as a technical engineer, for instance. Pero pag ang mga tao under sa kanila ay laging natatakot, laging nangangamba, kinakabahan. Parang kumbaga sa professor, ito yung mga terror na professor. Ito namang pula, ito yung walang kakwinta-kwintang manager o supervisor. Yung hindi na siya marunong sa technical, hindi pa siya marunong sa tao, bakit nabubuhay pa siya sa mundo? No? So, dapat ito, gawan din ng paraan ng HR ito. Either bigyan ng mentoring by a good technical man and counseling by HR. No? Kasi everybody has the right to revive his level of excellence. Somehow in our career, we deteriorate instead of developing further. So, kailangan natin ng interventions, and the HR people are the ones who are the source of wisdom. They have the source of the solutions, no? Solution yan na galing sa HR. So, yan ang task and people. This is a matrix that I prepared, no? Task, high people, low task, no? So, you can also modify, you can do your own matrix and try to evaluate if you have 1,000 managers or 100 managers, where is the square or the quadrant where your manager is located? Are 20% of your managers in the green, in the yellow, red, or blue? So this requires tests and measurements also to evaluate. That's why all my matrices are always based on accurate evaluation of people. This is another way of presenting it instead of technical work and people. No? It's the same. It's the principle is the same. This is JBJ's window number 5 to 8. No? Yung 1 to 4 ko kanina, yung the rank and file. Ito naman sa managerial. Now, on the leadership style, most of you are familiar with Theory X, Theory Y, and Theory Z. X is the autocratic style of leadership. Theory Y is the democratic theory. and Z is the situational theory. So if you are a theory X manager or supervisor, you are looking at people as very bad. They are irresponsible, lazy, they cannot be trusted, and so if they violate, you consider the action as an act of betrayal, and therefore you punish. The theory X managers are always punishing. They always want to suspend or dismiss. The theory Y are the reformist people. They look at your subordinates as good people, but they make mistakes in their actions and judgment, and therefore the response should not be punishment but reformation, counseling, development. Theory Z is one that believes that a person is neither bad nor good. They are just a clean piece of paper. It depends upon what you will write on them. So kung ang tao ay nagpakasama, ibig sabihin mahina ang manager at supervisor niyan, no? Because these people will absorb what is written on them. So in the third theory, the people, when they misbehave, they are only reacting to certain stimuli, or they are reacting to a situation. So the approach there is carrot and stick. Carrot is reward for good behavior, and stick is punishment for the bad behavior. So it is something to think about. If you look at your managers and supervisors, whether they are more of X, Y, or the third theory, no? I hope you are learning from me, because I am doing my best to convey and to share with you all my stock knowledge based on 45 years of experience. We are now on the 15th wise way. We are going to specify the grouping of people with problems, no? This is just a repeat of this morning. Different folks, different strokes. You cannot treat them equally because they are not equal. There are employees who can be considered spontaneous mischief. Yan, spontaneous mischief. Ano ba yung spontaneous mischief? Merong mga empleyado na naboboard sa trabaho nila, walang ginagawa. Gagawin dyan, yung chinilas mo, itatago nila, yung mga gamit mo. Basta, they just want to commit mischief. Yung mga cellphone mo ay bigla nilang itatago, pero hindi naman nila nanakawin. They just want to play a joke on you, no? But these are wasters, time wasters. And these are irritations. Simple lang yan na misconduct, but it will affect productivity and also relationship in the workplace. Yung chronic oppositor, ito yung mga empleyado na every time the supervisor or managers would give an instruction, they always have an opposition. They resist. They tend to resist authority, no? The third one are the real lazy people. They always find a way to escape from work, no? And the number 4, they are the ones who are giving very dirty jokes, no? They are the ones who are sending bold pictures, and somehow it violates the anti-sexual harassment law or the other mandatory law on decent and pressure-free environment. The compulsive liar is the one who will always invent alibi, always malingering, pretending that he is sick in order to be absent. And number 6 is the one that steals company property bring home some office supplies and equipment, using vehicle for personal use. And number 7 is just like number 6, no? And they are when they are the number 6 is congenital fraud. The number 7 is the charismatic rebel. Meaning, ito yung popular na tao among his fellow employees. And this is the person who will most probably form the union. He is the one who has the mission to organize. No? He is very charismatic. People believe in him because he talks very well and he is very credible. No? And he is most probably the leader of the opposition. No? So I have already discussed that this morning. So you have to look at also some employees in relation to gender issues and drug issue about HIV/AIDS and PWD. They are not really problem employees. They are employees that are carrying some problems. And LSR is love, sex, and romance in the workplace. If there are issues on immorality and some irregular relationship between superiors and subordinates, bordering on sexual harassment or violation of ethics and morals. No? So we have to look at that as a separate area of problem. The next one is what are the strengths and weaknesses of the Filipino workers? This is very interesting because I have tried to study the culture of Filipinos, no? Even among OFWs. Because I worked for OFWs for 9 years, 3 years in Malaysia, 3 years in Kuwait, and 3 years in Taiwan. And I came across with many materials about positive attitude and behavior pattern of the employees. And we can classify them into 7. Word of honor, palabra de honor, utang na loob, no? Yung bang magpapakabait siya kasi pinasok siya ng trabaho ni Mr. Freddy Marquez, nahihiya siya, bilang utang na loob man lamang ay pagbutihin niya ang trabaho niya. That is a positive also aspect of Filipino utang na loob. Yung pakikisama, it can be good and bad. No, sometimes nasasangkot sa masama dahil sa pakikisama, but there is a positive side of pakikisama, which is teamwork. Kailangang umayon tayo sa objective ng company, mag-ayos tayo, makisama tayo, kasi tinulungan tayo sa panahon ng kagipitan, sa pandemic, binigyan tayo ng ayuda, so dapat makisama tayo. Then magmalasakit tayo sa mga gamit sa kumpanya, huwag tayo mag-waste ng raw materials, huwag tayo, ayusin natin ang quality ng product para hindi masasayang pag hindi pumasa sa quality control. Then magmalasakit tayo in the prudence, carefulness in handling of company equipment para hindi masisira. Malasakit. Katapatan is honesty in the handling of company fund or property, and also in handling of very sensitive information. Pagpupunyagi is sacrifice. Magtiis tayo sa panahon ng kagipitan. Kung maiksi ang kubot, matutong mamaluktot. So you can leverage on the strength of the Filipinos, enthusiasm of the new hires. The new hires are very enthusiastic, passionate, they are full of energy. You have to leverage and leverage these positive energies. Then the wisdom of the old-timers. The old-timers are tired, but they have wisdom. We have to listen to them. We must make them feel that their advices are given value by the corporation. High emotional quotient and social skills. Well, hiring and talent acquisition now look at not just the IQ but also the EQ and also the social skills. The millennials are very high in technological savvy. They are well honed. We can make use of this, and all of this can be, if you are a good management, you can leverage, no? And then the common mistakes of management when they deal with employees who resist against authority. There are employees who are allergic against supervisors. You know, yung mga exit interview, what is the result of exit interviews? Why are people leaving the companies? It's not because of the company, it's because of the supervisors and managers. Ang mga top management are very good, compassionate, understanding, and very caring to people. And yet the frontline supervisors are the tyrants. They are the dictators. They are the oppressors. Yun, dapat bantayan ninyo yan. Na kahit napakabait yung may-ari, napakabait ang top management, pero you have forgotten that you have sent to the front line certain supervisors who do not have the skills to communicate and to listen. So ang epekto niyan ay sila ay magiging diktador at masyadong sagasa sa mga tao. Walang pakiramdam sa damdamin ng mga maliliit. No? Then, ang weakness, ningas kugon, walang consistency. At ang mga millennial, sorry lang sa mga millennials ha, ito yung findings nila na maraming distractions kasi habang nagtatrabaho, nagpi-Facebook, nagti-TikTok, tama ba yung iiwan mo na yung cellphone? Para sa akin, that is a very sensitive issue. Kasi doon sa Kuwait, when I was labor attaché, ang complaint talaga ng mga OFW is yung i-confiscate yung kanilang mga cellphone because they cannot communicate with their families. So, you have to draw a very delicate balance between yung mga empleyado na nagwe-waste ng panahon sa linya dahil nagsi-cellphone sila. On the one hand, okay. On the other hand, kung merong positive, meron din namang negative na attitude ang mga Pilipino. Yung kanya-kanyang kayod, gaya-gaya, ningas kugon, bahala na syndrome, Filipino time, yan ang masama, Filipino time, laging late. Pagbabalat kayo, isip talangka, yung bang crab mentality, pagmamalaki sa pagmamaliit. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng pagmamalaki sa pagmamaliit? Ibang tanungin mo ang Pilipino, kumusta ka? Ito, naghihirap pa rin. Yan. Marami na maliit ang sarili palagi, no? Hindi sinasabing, kumusta ka? Oh, ito, buhay na buhay. Salamat sa Panginoon. Healthy ako. Ayan. Laging tumitingin sa negatibo, no? Imbes na tumitingin sa half full, sinasabi half empty. No? At dahil panahon ngayon sa maskara, maraming nagkukunwari ng mga empleyado. At yan, dapat sa ABC profile, alam mo yun. No? So, marami akong analysis at ito, pagmamaliit sa sarili, kanya-kanyang kayod, gaya-gaya, isip kolonyal, kulang sa pagpahalaga sa panahon, ningas kogon, at bahala na attitude. I am also a student of Filipino culture, and it's very important that you in HR should be familiar with this, no? Alam nyo, napakahalaga ito mga materials ko kasi pinanire-research ko ito. And this is a product of 45 years of experience, no? At ngayon, nakikita ninyo for free. Napakapalad naman ninyo na pinaghirapan ko na ilang taon pagkatapos maririnig nyo at makikita ninyo na gano'n na lang, no? Gano'n talaga ako no? I feel happy na bibigay ko sa inyo, pero bigyan nyo ng halaga kahit kunting pagtingin. Ang mga Pilipino ay may positibong attitude sa pananalig sa Panginoon. Diyan tayo malakas. Bagyuhin man tayo ng Undoy o bagyuhin tayo ng Yolanda, magkaroon tayo ng lindol at magkaroon tayo ng revolusyon, pumutok man ang Pinatubo at ang Taal, ang Pilipino nagtumitindig pa rin. Kung siya ay masugatan, siya ay naghihintay ng lunas at siya ay babalik. Ganon ka-resilient ang Pilipino. The word is resiliency. So, with all the things that you hear about Filipinos, you have to also focus on the positive side of Filipino. There are many positive sides in the Filipino, and you should not deal with negativism. In the Facebook, imbes na itaas mo ang Pilipino, ang lahing Pilipino, ay lalo mong dinidiin, gagawa nung mga story na kino-compare ang mga Pilipino sa Amerikano, kino-compare ng, halimbawa, narinig ko yung biro na dumating daw ang Hapon sa airport. Mr. Chairman, narinig mo ba ito? Ang Hapon dumating sa airport, tinanong niya yung Pilipino, how long did your government construct this airport? Sabi ng driver sa taxi, I think 2 years. Sabi ng Hapon, 2 years, very wrong. Very long ba? Very wrong. Very wrong daw, ang long. In Japan, that is only less than 1 year, finish. Ganun tapos highway, dumaan sila sa highway. Sabi ng Japanese, how wrong your government construct highway? Nagyabang na rin yung driver. Sabi ng driver, 6 months. 6 months, very wrong. In Japan, 3 months finish already. Pagdating sa hotel, this hotel, how long? Sabi na, giyayabang na naman yung driver. Sabi na, 3 months. No, 3 months. In Japan, 1 month finish. Ngayon, nung magbayad na yung Japanese nung taxi, nakita ng Japanese, ang bilis tumakbo yung taximeter. Sabi ng Japanese, how come? Taximeter, very fast. Sabi ng driver, made in Japan. Made in Japan. Taximeter made in Japan. Kasi pabilisan ang gusto mo, hindi mabilis. Mabilis din taximeter, no? Ganon lang yun. So, ang gusto ko lang na sa Facebook kasi, do not put the Filipino down. Kaya, when I was a labor attaché in 3 countries, I always promote the slogan that Filipino is pili. Yung word na Filipino, sinulat mo, pili. In other words, chosen. Sa gitna, lipi, race. Then sa huli, Pino, refined. So, Filipino is a chosen race with refined manners. And that is what I was teaching the OFW, including the domestic helpers. Tayong mga Pilipino, taas noo nating ipagmalaki yung ating lahi. Tayo ay isang lahing may dignidad, merong dangal, at tayo ay karapat-dapat igalang dahil tayo ay Pilipino, pili na lipi na Pino ang ugali. Ganon. Ganon ang advocacy ng movement for organizational justice. Ano ang highest aspiration ng mga ang people mo na in general? All of you are familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So, I do not have to explain to you what is the meaning of Maslow. Maslow is a human behaviorist who wrote a book that what are the motivation, what motivate employee to do his job, no? From basic needs, from the basic needs to the need of self-actualization. Tulad ngayon, si Mr. Freddy Marquez, this yung mga basic needs. Nasa self-actualization na siya. So, big sabihin, hindi na niya kailangan ng status, tapos na siya, senior VP na siya. Ang kanya na lang is ma-actualize niya yung mga dreams niya na magtayo siya ng organisasyon, movement, kailangan. Kahit minsan hindi tayo kumikita, nagtatrabaho tayo, hindi tayo kita, ipalibre natin yung mga webinar natin kasi we are no longer motivated. Ayan, si Freddy Marquez yan. Pero ako, I'm still in the basic needs, no? Kasi si Freddy Marquez, multi-millionaire or billionaire na yan. So, ang kanyang need sa itaas na. Tayo ay we are still climbing the mountain to self-actualization, no? So the highest aspiration of Filipinos is different from the highest aspiration of in general. Ang Pilipino talaga iba sa ibang lahi. Ito ha, tandaan nyo. Iba ang Pilipino. Ibahin mo ang Pilipino. Kasi ang hierarchy of needs ng Pilipino, dalawa. Merong pang sarili at may pang pamilya. Ang gusto talaga ng Pilipino, merong caring. So kung mag-hire ka ng empleyado, gusto ng empleyadong Pilipino na nararamdaman niya na ikaw management, marunong kang mag-alaga. Iba yung caring sa nurturing. Kasi ang pag-aruga, merong kasamang coaching and mentoring. Ang caring is only for basic needs of food, salary, benefits, but pag nurturing na, kasama na yung you improve my skills, you widen my horizon, ganyan, may aruga na yan. Tapos, may pagmamahal. Ibig sabihin, pag birthday mo, naaalala ka ng management, no? Tapos, pag nag-achieve ka ng outstanding performance, binibigyan ka ng ceremony, binigyan ka ng trophy. Yan, distinction. Kasi ang importante yung dakila. Yung makuha mo yung award is dakila award. The highest award is when the management will consider you as dakilang empleyado. No? Gawad pagkadakila. Yun ang pinaka-highest aspiration ng Pilipino. Sa pamilya naman, ito, lahat ng pamilya gusto na magiging tinitingala ng komunidad yung kanilang pamilya. Doon sa Bohol, alam mo, Mr. Marquez, sa Bohol, there was a time na ang hangarin talaga ng mga Boholano, napakabait ng mga tao, mga Boholano. Ang hangarin nila sa kada pamilya may pari. Meron sila, pag pumunta ka sa Bohol, sa harap ng bahay nila, nandoon ang mga karatula, abogado, arkitekto, doktor, tapos ang pinaka-crowning glory sa isang pamilya ay may pari. So lahat ng pamilya may pari. Ngayon, nagbago ng panahon, lahat ng pari may pamilya. No? Nagbago na, no? Nagbago na ang panahon. Dati, lahat ng pamilya may pari. Ngayon, lahat ng pari may pamilya. No? Ngayon, sasabihin ko sa inyo, Umattend ako ng seminar doon sa Singapore when I was labor attaché in Malaysia. At ang umattend ng seminar na yon ay iba-ibang lahi. May Japanese group, may Indonesian group, merong mga Indian group, merong mga Malaysian group, may Singaporean. So, kada table, we were asked to prioritize. Ano ang importante mo sa 5 na bagay? Una, Panginoon, bansa, trabaho, pamilya at sarili. Ang isang table belonging to another country, ang kanilang priority, una, Panginoon, sunod, bansa, sunod, trabaho, pang-4, pamilya, pang-5, sarili. Yung isa naman, ng letter B, number 1, ang country. Huli lang sa kanila ang Panginoon. Ang pangatlo, una yung pang-trabaho. Because you cannot serve your country or family without work. No? Meron ding una ang sarili. Kasi sabi nila, we cannot love our family if we do not love ourselves. Pero alam nyo, ang Pilipino nasa gitna, nakita nyo, ang una nila ay pamilya, pangalawa lang ang Panginoon. Bakit? Nagdidebate nga doon sa table namin eh, kasi gusto ko mauna yung Panginoon. Pero na-outvoted ako. Ang gusto nila, attorney, sabi niya, ang Panginoon makakaintindihan kahit sa linggo hindi tayo magsimba, magtrabaho tayo, mag-overtime tayo para may ipadala tayo sa ating pamilya. Kasi ang Panginoon makaintindi, magpatawad, pero ang pamilya natin hindi magpatawad kung wala tayong pera ipadala. So, number 1 ang family sa Pilipino, number 2 lang ang Panginoon, then ang masama, ang panghuli ang bansa. Kaya ang bansa natin ay nagkawindang-windang dahil sa mentality ng Pilipino, huli ang bansa. Huli ang bansa sa kanyang priority. Hindi pareho sa ibang lahi na una sa kanila ang bansa, no? Huli ang bansa wala tayong magagawa. Inuuna ang sarili sa bansa, inuuna yung trabaho. Sabi niya, bahala na lang yung ibang Pilipino magmahal sa bansa natin. Ako, unahin ko muna yung pamilya ko. Ganon ang Pilipino ko mag-isip. So, if you manage a Filipino employee, you have to be aware that his family is number 1 sa kanya. Number 1 ang pamilya. Ang Pilipino ay hindi lang pansarili, pang pamilya din. To the Filipino, family is first. He asked God to protect and bless his family. Number 2, to the Filipino, God will understand if He gives His family first priority because no one else will help. Sabi nga ng Panginoon, paano ninyo ako mahalin na hindi man lang ninyo ako nakikita? Hindi nga ninyo kayang mahalin yung sarili inyong biyenan o inyong pamilya na nakikita ninyo. Ako pa, mga sinungaling kayo. Sinungaling kayo kasi nagsasabi kayong mahal ninyo ako, hindi niyo ako nakikita. Samantala, yung taong yung araw-araw mo kasama sa kumpanya, hindi mo kayang mahalin, hindi mo kayang patawarin. So, sinungaling ka. O, di nagpakatotoo lang ang Pilipino na okay, Panginoon, number 2 ka lang. To the Filipino, job is important because it helps him provide for his family. It is a means to achieve the end, which is family. So, pag sinabing mag-ingat ako na hindi ako matamaan ng COVID, it's because I have a family who relies on me. So, family pa rin. No? To the Filipino, his country is lost because he feels he has already served his country if he serves his family well. Yun mo, family talaga. Maniwala kayo sa akin para mapadali tayo. Huwag na kayong kumontra. Kasi ako talaga nag-aral ako. Pinag-aralan ko ang ugali ng Pilipino. Para ako maintindihan ko yung mga tao na nililid ko. Whether it is my student, members of my organization, I'm a member of the church community, I always study the cultural and behavioral pattern of the people. No? So we have to use different standard. These are the mechanism to improve our handling and of people or managing and leading people. We have to strengthen our planning, organizing, and leading and controlling. Apat yan eh. Management. What is management? Management is PLOC. Planning, leading, organizing, and controlling. You look at your systems in the company. Mahina kayo sa control, maraming nagnanakaw. Mahina kayo sa leading, ang mga tao, mababa ang moral kasi walang motivation. Maraming wastage, mahina kayo sa controlling. So, look at where you are strong and when you are weak. You look at your motivation and rewards. Yan ang expertise ni Mr. Marquez. You want to be certified as an expert in motivations and rewards. You have to look at that system, no? And also controls and sanction, meaning yung employee discipline nyo, yung grievance handling ninyo, yung mga due process ninyo, administrative systems, meron yang effect sa behavior ng mga tao nyo. If your people are angry at management, there's something wrong in the handling of this function of control and penalties. Systems and procedures. Bakit napakatagal magpa-approve ng leave? Bakit napakatagal na lumalabas yung merong illegal deduction, nag-complain ang mga empleyado, hindi sila narimitan ng SSS, nag-complain? Bakit ang mga opisina, ang HR, ang compensation and benefits section ay napakabagal na mag-respond to explain to an employee a simple problem? A simple problem, and the employee is looking for answers. Nagalit yung misis kasi kulang-kulang yung take-home pay dahil nagkamali yung pag-compute. So, nag-complain yung empleyado, walang response. Punta ka sa HR, walang tao. Bakit? Nag-seminar, nag-meeting, nobody will answer. Nobody is in charge to answer. They do not care to return call. They do not answer emails. So, anong klaseng company yan? Tapos schedules and timetables ay erratic. Naguguluhan ng mga tao. Sabay-sabay yung mga meetings. Walang somebody who is harmonizing the schedules. Nag-aagawan ng conference room. Alam mo, itong lahat na sinasabi ko sa inyo based on my experience. Performance management. Pinagtatawanan lang ng mga tao yung performance appraisal. Kasi kung sino pa yung mga nataguriang notoriously undesirable, yun pa ang nabibigyan ng matataas na increase. And nobody bothers to explain. Nobody bothers to explain. The people do not bother to ask because they are disgruntled. They are disillusioned. They have lost faith in the system. And they are just there because they have no other option. If they have other options, they will leave this company. No? I'm explaining why there are people with problems. Productivity measures are not accurate. No? The management does not care on measuring of genuine productivity. So people do not give importance to this area. Now, what are the 7 fundamental knowledge that every employee should master? This is very important. Kung mag-hire kayo ng tao, ano ba ang hinahanap niyo sa tao para siya magiging effective na worker? Ito, number one muna, dapat alam ng empleyado what is your work. So kung kayo ngayon, who are here, if I will ask you, define your work in less than 5 words. What is your work? Define your work in your own language, in less than 5. Huwag ka na maghaba-haba, just define your work. Hindi yung pangalan ng posisyon, ha. Huwag ka magsabi, I am an HR assistant. That's not a work. An HR assistant is a position. So, you have to define work. And then you have to define who is your customer. Other words, who is using your output. When you define your work, you know what are you producing every day. And who is making use of your output. Then number 3, what is your service? What is your output? What is your product? Ano-ano yung ginagawa mo na natatapos mo, na minimeasure ko para bigyan kita ng reward. Number 4, what resources do I need to produce what I need to produce? Number 5, what qualities should my product possess? Anong quality? Define mo in quantitative terms, no? And then last, number 6, what is your timetable? Importante yan. Mr. Marquez, can you hear me? Does this make sense? Does this make sense to you? I hope that what I am saying makes sense. Na ito yung hahanapin mo sa bawat empleyado. Tanungin mo siya, anong trabaho mo, iho? Sino ang gumagamit ng output mo? Ano ba talaga ang output mo? Number 4, ano ang mga kailangan po para matapos mo yung output mo? At ano ang mga katangian ng output mo para magiging karapat-dapat ka ng reward? And then, timetable. Ang huli is, how much value do you add to the resources to produce the product? Ano yung unique contribution mo? Ano yung dinadagdag mo because of what you have done? Ako, when I joined HR Team Asia and HR MBSI, I defined what value will I bring into the organization. Kasi mahirap naman yung magiging pabigat ako sa organisasyon na yan na wala akong contribution. Dapat meron akong contribution para kung umalis ako dyan sa organisasyon nila, ay sasabihin nila na wala na yung tagapag-produce ng value na ito. No? You must create a meaning of your disappearance. No? Pag nag-resign ka sa isang kumpanya, masasabi ng employer mo na iba na talaga ngayon kasi wala na yung may unique na value na kinikreate sa kanyang contribution into our operation. Ganon yun. That is how I felt that I had a very successful career in San Miguel Corporation. Because I established a trademark. Nakikilala ko sila ni Mr. Rene Henner because he was the head of packaging. Siya yung pinakamataas sa packaging. Although later on, na-promote siya sa head office, overall na HR na siya, wala na ako doon. Then si Nick Lim was the head of beer. Si Nick Lim sa beer sales. At later on, the entire beer, si Nick Lim. Kasi meron pa kaming beer na manufacturing. Si Rumi Lim naman yun. Iba si Nick Lim sa Rumi Lim. So, meron kami sa Magnolia, meron kami sa Agri, lahat magagaling yan. So, you have to define what is your contribution. The next is you have to know what are the skills that are needed for people to excel. No? What are the skills? No? So number 1 skill, you should know how to do your work. So the procedure. Second is customer satisfaction. Third is product improvement. You have to improve the quality of your service every time you do. Yung quality mo last year, kailangan isurpass mo yun. Yung level mo, you always compete against yourself. And then, you lower the cost. This is very important because a good employee has many contribution how to lower cost. Yung merong paligsahan sa San Miguel dati, yung annual na quality project sa San Miguel na will generate big monetary awards for those who can create a system or can introduce an innovation that will lower the cost of the product or shorten the timetable or improve the quality of our output. Kaya ang daming mga quality circles ginagawa ng San Miguel at merong annual competition on these skills. And the ultimate skill is how do you win more customers. So, kaya ako medyo maraming nasusuya sa aking ibang abogado kasi ang style ko kasi sa San Miguel, pag merong mag-file ng complaint, kakausapin ko yung complainant at sasabihin ko, pwede ba na mag-usap tayo imbes na aabot tayo ng 7 taon na mag-litigation tapos at the end magbabayad din kami. Bakit hindi na lang natin pag-usapan ngayon? Hindi na kami magbabayad ng malalaking mga law firms, nakikita ng limpak-limpak na mga billing. Kaya galit sa akin yung ibang abogado kasi nababawasan yung mga kaso. Hindi na makakarating sa legal. Tinatapos na ng HR ang mga kaso through effective grievance handling. At pinapalakas ko ang due process dahil gumagaling ang mga skills ng supervisor. Hindi na masyadong nagde-depend sa head office. Kaya nung nagawa ko na lahat, umalis na ako sa San Miguel because I know that I have accomplished my mission. Na pag ikaw nakarating ka na sa pinakataas na tuktok ng Mount Everest, di maghahanap ka na naman ng ibang mountains to climb. Kasi wala ka ng ibang pupuntahan eh. So, ganun yun. We have to have this system that you impose to yourself. The next is, pabilis na tayo ha. What are the 7 fundamental attitudes? Attitudes ha. Nalata nyo kanina, knowledge, sunod, skills, sunod attitude na naman to. Ito yung number 1 attitude, customer focus. Dapat lahat ng empleyado sa HR, i-define niya sino ba ang customer ng HR. Pag tumawag ba ang mga taga-line manager sa HR, ano ba ang maging image ng HR sa ibang mga unit kung hindi ka mag-return call? Kung meron kang memo na hindi sinasagot, kung meron kang email na nakaligtaan mong sagutin, hindi ka customer focus. At it's not enough that you satisfy your customer. You have to delight your customer. Because satisfaction is just the fulfillment of what is expected. Delight is something that they did not expect. Na sabihin nila, iba na ngayon ang HR ng San Miguel. No? Nagbago ang HR ng San Miguel. Why? Because they are now customer focused. They know that kaming taga-linya, kaming taga-packaging, kaming taga-magnolia, kaming taga-beer, kami ay mga customer ng HR. At ngayon, nakita namin ang mga concrete innovation, nagbabago, mabilis sumagot, accurate ang kanilang mga opinion, ang mga tulong nila, very helpful. They do not need to be called. They come and help us. And they are very, very friendly. So, yan, importante yan. Number 2, continuing improvement. Kailangan na pag-aralan natin. Bakit 5 araw ipoprocess yan? Merong isang union president na taga San Fernando, Pampanga, pumunta sa head office para mag-follow up ng mga loan. Kasi sa San Miguel dati maraming loan eh. Merong salary loan, merong car loans, merong housing loans. So somebody, president ng union. So I helped him and we became very good friends. Kaya pag may wilga sa San Miguel, ako lang ang pumupunta at lapitan ko yung union president dahil meron kaming pinagsamahan. Meron akong itinanim na utang na loob sa kanya. At sa panahon ng kagipitan, meron akong mapupuntahan na kaibigan. No, iba na talaga ang may pinagsamahan. Ganon ang San Miguel. No? So, kailangan i-reduce natin ang cost because business is very competitive and we have to undertake continuing reduction program. Kaya pag merong nag-retire, nag-resign, yung kanyang posisyon, i-absorb ng another, i-enrich lang yung job grade niya, ang job enrichment, at tataasan siya ng konti ng job level because inabsorb niya yung trabaho ng iba. At kaya niya, multi-skilled siya, multitasking siya, high-powered siya. So hindi niya feel na inaapi siya or tinitake advantage siya kasi dinadagdagan naman ang kanyang sahod at ang job grade niya ina-adjust. Equal pay for equal work. If the work is increased, there is a corresponding adjustment. Di ba? Then productivity drive. Dagdagan natin yung output natin. Then quality drive. Meron tayong additional feature sa ating output. At meron tayong sense of urgency. Huwag tayo ng lahat ng gagawin, puro committee. Puro na lang committee. Hindi. Kayang gawin ng isang tao, bakit ilalagay pa sa committee? Kaya na mamangha ang chairman natin nung ginawa ko yung 88, isang gabi, di ako natutulog. Ginawa ko lahat yan. Kanina nag-lunch, sinabi ni Willie na bukas tuloy yung seminar. Ginawa ko yung PowerPoint. Nasa number 55 na ako out of 88. So, ganun yan. Kahit kumakain ako, nagtatrabaho ako. Pag gusto mo yung trabaho mo, parang hindi ka nagtatrabaho. I am driven, I am determined, I am passionate, I am focused. So, I impose upon myself that kind of discipline. Kaya wala akong panahon magkasala, Mr. Chairman. Kasi lagi akong busy. Pag sinasabi ng mga kaibigan ko, JJ, mag-outing naman tayo, mag-one tayo, mag-happy-happy tayo. Hindi, may klase ako eh. So, paano ako magkasala? Wala akong panahon magkasala because I spend all my hours producing things, teaching people. So, kung ano man mangyari sa buhay ko, Mr. Marquez, dapat sabihin mo, si JJ is synonymous to work. Kasi pinaglihi ako sa trabaho, nakuha ko yung kasipagan ng ina ko. No? 20... Pero hindi ko muna mamatay ngayon. What are the fundamental habits of every worker? Ito habit naman to ha. Ang una, yung goal orientation. Alam nyo, paminsan, ito ha, napupuna ako, bakit minsan naboboard yung mga empleyado, naboboard yung mga taong nagtrabaho kasi nakalimutan nila ano ba ang goal nila. Bakit sila nagtatrabaho? So, focus tayo sa what, sa how, pero nakalimutan natin ang why. Warrior. pag alam niya kung why are we fighting this battle. What is our ultimate objective? Dapat kung ang mga trabaho laging binibigyan niya ng pep talk every morning. Today we are going to produce volume of 2,000 output finished product. Why are we doing this? No? Because we have to defend the honor of the company. Our president has signed a contract and we have to support him because our company, if it is honorable, it will get more customer and therefore it will preserve our job. Ganon yun. Dapat ipaliwanag natin sa mga tao natin because the people will always ask why. Why are we doing this? The how and the what will be very easy if you have decided and you have clarified the why. So as a leader, it is your duty to explain the reason for doing many things. Mr. Marquez, why are we doing this? Bakit natin ginagawa itong movement for organizational justice? No? We must have a philosophy. No? We must have a rationality. The reason, alam mo, yung Hapon, merong word dyan ikigai. Ikigai. Everyone must find his ikigai. In other words, yan ang sinulat na purpose-driven life. Everyone must find his purpose. Bakit ka isinilang sa mundo? Ano ang iyong pakay dito sa mundo? Bakit ikaw nandito ngayon sa HR Team Asia? Ano ang pakay mo dito? Ano ang iyong pakinabang? Ano ang purpose mo? Number one, goal orientation. Dapat alam natin kung saan tayo patungo. Alam mo, merong isang araw, may kwento yan Merong isang tao na tumatakbo, humihingal, nagtatanong sa bata, "Bata, nasaan ba dito ang daan?" Sabi ng bata, tumawa yung isang bata Sabi ng bata, "Depende ho kung saan ka patungo." So ang taong tumatakbo pala, hindi niya alam kung saan siya patungo. Nagtatanong siya kung anong daan. Sabi ng bata, kung gusto mong papunta sa munisipyo, dumiretso ka. Kung gusto mong pumunta sa sementeryo, kumaliwa ka. Kung gusto mong punta sa simbahan, kumanan ka. So, minsan, napaka-busy mo, nagmamadali ka, hindi mo maintindihan dahil hindi mo alam kung anong direksyon. Saan ba patungo ang lahat ng ito? Tanong natin sa sarili natin. Ako, bakit ba ako nagpapakapagod? Ano ba ang pakay ko? Ano ba ang mapapala ko dito? No? There must always be a purpose so that your life will have a meaning. Otherwise, para na lang na para ka na lang kumakain ng mani na walang dahilan just to pass the time, no? Hindi mo maintindihan bakit ba kinakain ito. No? And then prioritization. Kung merong maraming utos ang boss mo sa iyo, anong unahin mo? So, you must have a sense of priority. Kaya kanina, pinaprioritize, ano bang una sa Pilipino? Panginoon ba o pamilya? Ang Pilipino talaga, family first. God will be second. No? So, ang pangatlo, trabaho. Pang-apat is sarili. Pang-lima na yung bansa. So, dapat klaro ang iyong priority para hindi ka maguguluhan. Pag sinabi ng mga kaibigan mo, mag-inuman muna tayo pare, mag-inuman tayo. No, meron akong tinatapos. Kailangan magbibigay ako ng seminar bukas. Mag-focus ako. Kailangan alam ko ang priority ko. Masasaktan na, magagalit na yung mga barkada ko, pero at least nagawa ko ang trabaho ko. And the next is habit of connection and partnering. In other words, hindi ka magtatagumpay sa buhay kung wala kang koneksyon, kung wala kang partner. Kahit gaano kagaling si Mr. Marquez, kung nag-iisa lang siya, kung wala siyang board of directors, kung wala siyang mga staff tulad ni Anjo at ni Willie, paano niya ma-achieve lahat na yan? Ako nga, paano ko gagawin yung mga libro kung wala? Kumuha ko ng mga estudyante na kulang sa budget. Binabayaran ko ng 1,000 a day para mag-research, para sila ay mag-encode. At ako naman ang tagapag-analyze, ako yung tagapag-comment doon sa labor code, mga librong ginagawa ko. So alam ko kung ano ang i-delegate ko, ano yung dapat ko trabahuin, at yung anak kong abogado, ano yung gagawin niya. So I am able to connect and to partner with people because I cannot achieve my objective alone. In life, you are not an island. No person is an island. Therefore, you have to connect because you cannot achieve your objective alone. No? And third is focus and consistency. Bakit ba maraming matalinong tao hindi nagsasaksi? Wala silang focus eh. Ang gulo-gulo nila. Gagawa siya ng ganito, gagawa ng ganyan. Wala siyang specialization. He is a jack of all trades and master of none. Kaya ako hindi na ako pumapasok dyan sa total rewards kasi alam ko mahina ako dyan sa compensation and benefits. Dito na lang ako mag-focus sa organizational justice. Hayaan mo na yan si Mr. Marquez dyan kasi dyan siya magaling. Marami siyang experience dyan. So I also learned from him. So mag-focus ka sa critical few mo na mga where you are strong. You focus on where you are strong. Huwag kayong lahat ay gagampanan mo para bang grasp all and lose all. Dapat mag-focus ka. Ganon din sa mga sa pagmamahal. Nandiyan pa ba si Mr. Willie at saka si Mr. Marcelo? Dapat mag-focus sa isang minamahal mo. Kailangan isa lang ang iniibig kahit marami kang minamahal. Di ba? Mag-focus ka, wag kang lahat na lang ay mamahalin mo. Kailangan isa lang para may intensity. And then multiple perspective. Ito, focus ka nga sa goal mo, pero ang isip mo, naaalala mo, halimbawa, nagsiseminar ka, naaalala mo na meron ka palang gawing iba. So, multiple ang perspective mo. Habang ikaw ay kumakain, papipirmahin ka ng dokumento. Nawawala ka ba sa focus? Nanonood ka ng TV, merong tawag sa telepono, nawawala ka ba sa focus? Wala, because you have the habit of multiple perspective. And then the habit of continuing evaluation. Kailangan sukatin mo ang sarili mo every month. Ano ba? Lumalakas ka ba physically? Lumalakas ka ba spiritually? Bumababa ba yung financial mo? Dito malakas si Mr. Marquez. Malakas sa financial. So, you evaluate yourself para alam mo kung saan ka nagkukulang, anong aspeto ng buhay ka kulang. Self-evaluation is very important so that you will know what is your next priority. Then, the habit of purposive and sustained improvement. Kailangan mag-aral tayo kahit matanda na tayo. No? I appreciate all of you who are coming here. Sana matuto kayo. I can help you because you are here. You sustain your development. Walang katapusan ang pagde-develop sa sarili. Because the word development, in the German translation of development, it means unfolding. Para bang bumubuka yung bulaklak. The more you learn, the more you blossom. You bloom. Because development is to unfold, no? To unfold. Kasi the potentials are already with us and we have to develop ourselves, no? Next is discover the secret stairway that every worker needs to climb in order to achieve excellence. Ayan, number 1. Pag ikaw, meron kang ini-introduce na isang bagong bagay tulad ng organizational justice, ang una dyan, meron mga tao dyan na mga cynical, skeptical, apathetic. Hindi sila naniniwala. Sasabihin nila, ano na naman kaya yung ginagawa ni Freddy at ni JBJ? Ano na naman yan? Ano na naman pakulo yan? Yun ang yung mga tao apathetic, skeptical. Kahit sa mga kaibigan natin, magtapatan tayo, no? Kahit very close mo na, minsan hindi pa sila believe doon sa ginagawa mo, no? Hindi pa sila believe. Tulad na dati, paano ka bibilib? Halimbawa, merong isang batang-bata kumandidato laban sa mga Eusebio sa Pasig. Yung bata na parang straight from school, from high school, na napakapayat na bata na walang experience, tapos lalabanan mo yung mga Eusebio na ilang dekada na yan na naghahari sa Pasig. O bakit nagawa ni Vico Soto yun? Sa umpisa, apathetic ang mga tao, walang naniniwala. Sunod, passive opposition. Yung bang, primero, they do not care. Sunod, passive opposition. Yung bang, they do not care. They do not care. They do not do something, and yet, wala silang paniniwala. Sunod is objection. Nag-o-object sila, hindi ako, ayaw ko dyan, no? Ayaw ko dyan kasi walang magagawa yan, eh, no? Walang experience yan, walang alam yan sa pamamahala. Tapos later on, nung nanalo na, grudging compliance, yung mga tao ni Eusebio, bigla na lang silang nagko-comply, but grudgingly. Wala sa buo nila kasi siya na ang mayor ngayon, wala tayong magagawa, no? Tapos later on, nagiging genuine, nakita nila, magaling pala itong batang ito, decisive pala ito, marami siyang mga diskarte, so naging genuine compliance, tapos nagiging raving fans na. Yung dating mga tao na nangungutya sa iyo, yung bang hindi naniniwala sa iyo, ngayon ay fans mo na. At ngayon ay dedicated champions. Stairway, meaning you have to go through a process. Kung ikaw ay mag-umpisa ng isang movement, tingnan mo nangyari kay Kristo. Nung nag-umpisa siya, ilan lang ang naniniwala sa kanya. Hanggang nang gumagawa na siya ng mga milagro, ang dami ng sumusunod ng mga tao. Because people are looking for miracles. Tingnan mo ang nangyayari kay Yorme sa Manila. Yan ang mga tao na hindi mo akalain, pero they still continue to proceed. They are determined. They are very focused on their goal and they achieve victory. That is the long and hard climb to excellence. JBJ's law, that is a product, the more conformity, the better performance, because as people follow you and believe in you, then you become more successful. Maraming mga tao na nag-umpisa lang sa maliit. Tingnan mo yan si Kibuloy sa Davao. Sobrang yaman yan. Bakit? Gumawa siya ng Kingdom of God. Hindi siya taga Davao, ha? Pampanginyo yan, galing sa Luzon. Pumunta doon, nag-aral na magbisaya. Daming naniniwala. Ganun yun. Lahat, pag nag-start ka ng isang movement, kailangan passionate ka, focus ka, araw-gabi, pinag-isipin mo paano mo isulong ito Hindi yung parang half-hearted ka. Pag nakita ng mga membro mo na kulang ka sa focus, kulang ka sa determinasyon, kulang ka sa commitment. Alam mo yung commitment at saka compliance. Bakit ka umatin sa seminar? Nag-comply lang ako dahil inutusan ako ni Sir Freddy. Compliance lang yan. Pero pag commitment yung, bakit ka nasa seminar? Kasi gusto kong matuto talaga. Maganda yung topic. At pangalawa, wala namang bayad. Yun. So, ang kaibahan ng commitment at saka yung compliance, yung manok at baboy. Nag-usap ang manok at baboy. Sabi ng manok sa baboy, baboy, ano bang gagawin natin? Yung amo natin laging malungkot. Simula nung namatay yung kanyang misis, lagi na lang siyang malungkot. So, sabi ng baboy, alam ko na yan. Gagawa tayo ng favorite na pagkain niya. Anong favorite niyang pagkain? Ham and egg sandwich. Sino magpo-produce ng egg? Di yung manok. Isang ere lang ng manok, meron ng egg. That is compliance. Pero ang baboy, para makaproduce ng ham, magpakamatay ang baboy. And that is commitment. Are you willing to die for something that you believe in? That is commitment. Hindi yung konti lang problema, give up na kaagad. Yan ang problema ng mga kabataan minsan eh. Ang panahon ko, I have to walk how many kilometers barefooted. I come from a barrio in Cebu. At the age of 6, I have to plow the field. I was a farmer. My parents were very poor. There were 18 children. I was the eldest in the family, and we were very poor. At the age of 12, I left home to go and become a janitor and work my way. I live in a squatter area to become a lawyer. That is my determination. I told myself, there is no other way. Nobody will help me. Nobody will assist me. I have to change my life. That is why I am here today, because I give back what I received as a blessing from the Lord. Because without Him, I can do nothing. Kahit ba meron pa akong pagpupunyagi pag walang tulong sa itaas. No? Yan ang importante natin. Meron tayong ganong mga paniniwala, ha? So kanina, yung nagtanong kaninang umaga, paano ba natin ito mapabuti yung ang HR daw hindi naniniwala doon sa policy niya. Ito yung 7 steps na sinasabi ko sa inyo. Ang una ay i-formulate mo yung policy, i-draft mo. Pero ang pangalawa, ipa-approve mo sa pinakamataas. Huwag kang mag-release ng policy na ikaw lang ang pipirma. Kailangan yan merong blessing from the highest authority. And that is called promulgation. Kahit ang batas ng Kongreso, pipirmahan ni President Duterte. The lawmaking process does not only involve Congress but also involves the executive. That's why in the company, the President and the CEO should sign. And then HR should go around the different units to proclaim the good news of salvation, which is the new policy to save us from bankruptcy. We have to follow this policy. HR should be an advocate, and then line management implement. And then HR will monitor through the supervisor. And when there are data, analyze. The number 7, you redo, you rethink, it may need reformulation, and you go back again. That is the process. So, kaya minsan, ang mga policy natin hindi pa napanilawaan kasi formulate lang tayo, formulate, implement, forget. Wala tayong promulgation, wala tayong communication, wala tayong monitoring kung ilang tao ang nag-violate sa policy. Hindi natin masabi na ang department na yan ay perfect sila sa pag-compliance Another department is 75%. Pinaka-lowest department, less than 50%. We do not monitor. So, hindi natin binibigyan ng seryoso, hindi natin binibigyan ng talagang pagpapahalaga ng sarili nating policy. Kaya hindi maniniwala sila sa policy natin. I do not have time to discuss all the slides, but I am time conscious, and that's why I am skipping some of the slides. Number 6, because I want to have 1 hour as question and answer. Ito, number 26, second to the last. Huwag kayong magagalit dito, mga HR, at ito, nandyan pa ba yung ating mga member ng board, Mr. Chairman? Ito ay, meron lang akong babala dito na huwag kayong mag-react dito kasi this is a product of a research from UP, master's degree. Ang title dito, Why People Hate HR and Management. Ang hate dito is enclosed in quotation. Pwede rin sabihin nyo, why people misunderstand HR and management. Mas politically correct yun. Bakit ba ang HR at ang management minsan ay hindi tinatangkilik ng mga tao? Parang galit ang mga tao sa kanila. Ito yung reason, ha. Tingnan mo, ang word na hate is enclosed in quotation. Hindi talaga yung hate in the real sense of the word. Yung bang inis ka lang. Bakit ba ang mga tao naiinis sa HR? Naiinis sa management, no? Nai-irritate. Number 1, HR, they are complicated. Complicated. Tingnan mo yung pinapakita ko. Ito, nire-research ito ng mga anak ko, ha. Tingnan mo, parang Meralco, ha, na yung mga kable ng Meralco, they are complicated. They make things difficult. Totoo ba yan na HR daw make things difficult? They create a lot of rules and they formulate a lot of controls. So, napipika, naiinis yung mga tao dahil yung mga simpleng bagay daw ay ginagawang komplikado ng HR. Or, wag na lang HR, yung management in general na lang. Ang daming policy, maraming manual, na yung mga bagay na simple, dumadami yung dapat basahin. They invoke a lot of laws, they involve a lot of people, they generate a lot of paperwork. Yan na, naririnig natin yan galing sa mga linya. This is a survey among 1,000 companies in the Philippines. And the people interviewed are the people who are in the factory, who are in the workshops, no? They require a lot of research. They focus on activities rather than results. They are not easy to talk to. 12 accusation. And pangalawa, HR and management are articulate. Articulate, maarte na, makulit pa. They love to show off. They love to make grandiose plans. Their presentations are pabungga ang presentation nila. They overpromise but underdeliver. At marami daw mga HR ay mga NATO. Ano yung NATO? No action, talk only. Nako, masasakit ito, ha. They are fond of so many certificate of appreciation. They love ceremonies and rituals. No, they judge people based on pretentious criteria. They make too much kulit. So lahat na yan ay Hindi ko yan paniniwala. Produkto ng research at yan ay merong quotation. They remove people from operation to attend their irrelevant programs. Irrelevant programs. So, yung mga programa ng HR parang hindi ina-appreciate ng line. Parang napilitan lang silang umattend at yung mga tao na dapat magtatrabaho ma-attend daw sa mga programang walang kabuhay-buhay. They ask for so many reports and they conduct so many incoherent activities. They judge people very quickly based on superficial factors. So yung performance appraisal natin, HR, they cannot be reached, laging walang signal. Totoo ba yan? HR is not accessible, they are always out attending meetings, and they do not walk their talk. They use jargons. They speak in tongues. Too much internet, too little person-to-person interaction. Siyempre, merong social distancing ngayon. They always ask you to go to them. They seldom come to you. Kayo bang mga taga-HR, umiikot kayo doon sa linya? Or naghihintay lang kayo dyan sa opisina ninyo? Dapat gawin ninyong ugali yan na at least once a month, pumasyal kayo doon. Makikita nyo kung gaano kainit yung mga tao doon, kung anong problema nila. Walang mga air conditioning, yung mga noise ay nakakasira. Pag na-inspect tayo ng dole, maraming violation. Pag tinawagan daw ang HI, ang hindi nagre-return ng call, they do not reply to email. They are elusive. They may be in the same room or in front of you, and yet they always do other things. Puntahan mo ang HR sa opisina, habang kinakausap mo ay may ginagawang iba. Hindi nag-eye-to-eye contact. Naku, ang dami nito ha. They are infected with committitis, meetingitis, and analysis paralysis. They create a lot of committee. Alam mo, ito yung definition ko ng committee. A committee is the group of the unprepared, led by the unwilling, doing the unnecessary. And a camel is actually a horse designed by a committee. HR calls a lot of meetings, unplanned, unorganized, unproductive. So much discussion, no decision or little decision. They overanalyze. They are cerebral and no feeling. So much thinking, little action. No? So left brain, cerebral, walang feeling. So academic approach to problems, over planning, under implementing. Ang dami nating kasalanan. They set a very tight timetables and not deliver on time. They are not time conscious. They come always late. They are late in coming to the meeting. Yan, delayed. No? Kaya HR is always pregnant because they are always delayed. No? They make people wait. They demand immediate response, and yet they do not give feedback immediately. Nako, alam ko na wala kayong kasalanan dito, i-deny ninyo ito. Pero ito yung nanggagaling sa mga tao. You should not be angry at this. Let this be an eye-opener. They hate operations people who demand immediate action. They impose deadlines on submission of reports, but they never give action on time.
Raymond Alejandrino, how do you handle grievances that violates your own principles?
The grievances that violates your own principles? Well, if you cannot handle it yourself because you have a personal interest involved or a personal stand involved, you should allow others to handle it, because you are not going to be uh, an objective handler of such a grievance. Because from the beginning, you have already a principle that you say is being violated. So how can you look at the problem objectively? Has experienced this deterioration of performance, but you should not forget that for more than 10 years, she has been performing very well. And you should have that compassionate justice to give him or her something for the years that he was faithfully serving you.
So magkano JBJ ang binigay ngayon?
1/2 month. Alam mo ang 1/2 month for every year of service, according to the Supreme Court in the case of Capital Wireless versus Confessor, ang meaning ng 1/2 month is 22.5 days for every year of service.
Okay, another question from Ray Kalipin. How to resolve conflict between HR department and operation department?
Ang presidente, ang head ng operation at head ng HR, ipatawag yung dalawang head ng HR at saka operation, ipatawag ng presidente. At yun ang presidente ang magiging conciliator, mediator, or arbitrator.
Kyle, by other person that we need the building for the employees working, how can we handle this on our HR side?
Well, acts of lasciviousness is a minor offense. It is bailable. In other words, you just wait when he goes out of jail before serving him the notice of charge or notice to explain. But do not complicate his problem by serving the notice while he is in jail. Anyway, it is the most severe penalty for acts of lasciviousness may be only 1 month imprisonment.
Okay, from Eleanor, is it okay kung ba na-delay ang employee case bound to be terminated in consideration of pandemic? Case issue is performance. May habol ba ang employee na tumakas sa kaso for delayed action?
No, as long as you change your policy and you issue a memo that in the light of the pandemic, administrative disciplinary action may be delayed, but not beyond 6 months from the time of the discovery of the offense. Any change or any delay that you incur must be covered by an appropriate memo that will constitute as a supplement or an amendment to your existing policy. The employee cannot use the delay as a reason to erase his liability.
Yes po.
Yes. Bakit tayo naman ng laser attorney question?
Yung regarding, kasi nabanggit din nila na dapat may performance appraisal bago terminate si employee pag bumagsak siya. Sa regular lang po ba yun or kasama pa ng probationary period?
Unang-una, magandang hapon sa iyo. Pangalawa, yung word na i-terminate ang employee, allergic ako dyan. You cannot terminate an employee because that is murder. You terminate the employment. You terminate the services. Never say you terminate the employee, ha? O, di ba? Okay. Pangalawa, ang iyong tanong ay applicable ba sa probationary? Ang answer ko, yes. With more reason na kung ang regular nga na terminate ang employment because of performance, di how much more for the probationary? The answer is yes.
From Miss Francie,
Well, kung gusto mo ng kapayapaan, nag-resign na, tanggapin mo na. Pero kung talagang gusto mo nang pailang ka ng kaso, tanggalin mo siya based on just cause, which is performance. Siguruhin mo lang na kompleto talaga at very clear at defensible yung performance appraisal system ninyo. Kasi pag inabla ka dahil nasaktan yung tao, tinanggal, ay ikaw ang may burden to prove.
Willie, pakicheck mo nga kung makakalimutin din ang
Hey, Ms. Francie, are you able to understand what Attorney JBJ telling you?
I am sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I will repeat. I was not informed that you could not. So I'll repeat. You have a choice. If you want immediate peace, the best is voluntary resignation. Although there are people who still file cases even if they voluntarily resign. But if you have a very clear performance appraisal system that can be defended, you have a choice to proceed on the process of terminating. But the problem here is later on, that person whose employment is terminated has more probability of filing case when she is dismissed for cause rather than when you approve her resignation. So that is a decision you have to make. But if I were in your place, and I think Mr. Marquez will agree with me that when a person voluntarily resigns, that is the best win-win solution because he wants you to issue her certificate of employment later on.
We are planning to terminate the employment of the regular employee from January to present. Lagi siyang may violation from negligence of duty, cash handling, and non-sales. Hindi siya na-timongan dahil loaded ng HR. Is it possible na huli yung ibang violation niya at ikanta yung service niya on the company? Or pwede din po bang isang uruan na lang like ating hearing or still notice to explain?
First, notice to explain. Then, lahat ng kasalanan niya, ilagay mo sa isang, yung notice to explain, it should be changed. The title should be changed. It should be Notice of Specific Charge with an order to explain. So you have to include all the charges and then in one sitting, schedule for investigation and then make the decision.
Good afternoon, Attorney JBJ. Pwede po bang huwag bigyan ng clearance and COE ang employee na terminated for breach of trust?
Okay. You give him a COA but you put the statement that she was dismissed based on loss of trust. Hindi na niya kukunin yung COA na yan. Pero you have the duty to give the COA because certificate of employment is really mandatory. You have to give it to him. But you are not expected to tell a lie. You tell the truth that this is to certify that he was our employee, but his employment was terminated based on loss of trust and confidence.
Okay, sir. Last question. Attorney, saan po ba dapat under ang HR? Is it with admin or is it a stand-alone department?
It depends upon the decision of the board of directors in the preparation of the table of organization. There is no universal rule on that. But if I'm asked, I would rather that HR stands alone and should not be under admin, because admin includes building administration, security, and others. No, that there is no universal rule on that. But my preference, I hope Mr. Marquez has an opinion. My preference is HR should be directly reporting to the president of the company.